Our producer in the past has shown that he has some hot takes. But with the king of MLS, Eli Lesser in the building, there's no better opportunity than to see some of our producer's hottest MLS takes. Does our producer really know ball, or is he just continuing to spout nonsense? Let's find out. This is take one from producer Ken. When it comes to competition, MLS is more competitive than the Premier League.
Ken knows ball.
Ken does not know ball.
Ken knows ball. What other league in the world has there been 10 different champions in the last 15 years?
That is true. You also got to think about it like this. When it comes to league parity, okay, I'll say this. Before anybody gets mad at this, we're not saying that the Premier League isn't better than MLS.
I know that. I know that.
We are saying the opportunity for any MLS team to win. Look, LA Galaxy won the league last year, is in last place this year. Sorry, Eli.
No, it's okay.
You know what I'm saying? In the Premier League, where would you see Liverpool going from winning the league to come in last? That wouldn't happen.
Right, so, but part of the reason that happens is the Premier League allows teams to spend financially. It doesn't put restrictions. Those lot won MLS and were the best team in MLS. You know what they did? They got punished for doing so.
But that's what makes the league competitive as well.
And is that a good thing, dude?
I mean, of course, I'm sad.
You should be a dynasty.
Of course,
there should be dynasties in MLS.
I don't like dynasties. I mean, in general, I mean, I loved my dynasty when we had it in the early 2010s. But you don't want to see other dynasties. You know, no one liked that City won the Prem like 6 years or whatever, 6 out of 7 years.
I'm not gonna lie, I hated that.
No one likes that. No one. I mean, I love the Bundesliga. No one likes that Bayern has won, 11 of the last 12 or whatever it is. At least with MLS, you can have that, jump and fall. And it also, we talk about the salary cap and everything. That's what makes it more competitive because you have to truly be smart with everything every single year. You can't rely on the same roster, the same finances every single year because it could change on an instant. Your players get better. They want to get sold. They want more money. So you have to figure out how to replace them quickly. And I think that keeps it a competitive game.
Sure. And look, I agree with you in that sense. I love Jeopardy, right? But I can watch any game if it's a good game. Perfect example. I know Crystal Palace Burnley. If that's a great game, I'll sit down and watch it. And that's why the Premier League is good, because it offers levels of competition throughout the table. Whether it's Liverpool and City like pushing for the league title, Newcastle and Villa looking for the 4th Champions League spot, whoever's definitely going to get relegated, trying to avoid getting relegated. Even mid-table games matter because every team is good. Now, MLS, you can have, the Rapids pull up and beat, Inter Miami, for example, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's good as much as it's unpredictable. And I think unpredictability is different to competition. So I see your point, but I think Ken is an idiot.
So I think your best argument for why MLS isn't competitive would be the fact that, 60% of teams make the playoffs. So it's really not that hard to make the playoffs, which makes the Galaxy this year even harder to watch. But I think that's the best argument against MLS being competitive. But then once it gets to the playoffs, we saw with Atlanta United knocking out Inter Miami in the first round.
Yeah, but you're really going to tell me that you didn't see that coming?
I didn't see that coming.
I think you could have watched one game of that series and seen it coming. I'll say that the Premier League is still more competitive.
Okay, fair enough. But Ken knows ball. I'm going to give you that, Ken.
Take two. The biggest issue with MLS is that they want to grow too fast. The USL's grassroots approach to building a club is more sustainable in the long term. It may even surpass MLS after enough time has passed.
So although I'm a big supporter of the USL and other leagues in America, I don't think it has the capability of ever passing MLS just because of market sizes. MLS dominates every top market, and that alone will kind of prevent, USL from surpassing it. I think it's going to be exciting to have Pro Rel. I'd even argue though with MLS that it's not growing fast enough, or it's not trying to grow fast enough, because I think we talk about the training wheels that the league has with the salary cap and all that stuff, and they're very, very particular about increasing it ever so often and very naturally rather than just blowing the whole thing open. And I think it is a high risk to blow it open. It's also a very high reward that I think MLS maybe does not want to do. But in terms of the grassroots stuff, definitely, clubs just spawning out of nowhere and becoming, a first division club. I agree
spawning.
Yeah, they kind of are.
Nah, they are spawning, but I think my biggest
San Diego just spawned,
The thing about these USL games, though, these clubs are spawning, they're growing grassroots levels, but who's actually attending these matches for USL?
Right, so here's the thing, right? I think MLS is terrified of losing control of its teams. I'm sorry, but what was it, $600 million that San Diego FC paid? That's ridiculous.
It's a lot of money.
Everyone sits around talking about, oh yeah, MLS teams are like the highest valued team, among the highest valued teams in the world. That shouldn't be the case. It shouldn't cost $700 million or however much
to build a club.
Right. Las Vegas is probably going to be the next MLS team in a couple years, right?
Yeah.
Like probably. That could be $1 billion club.
$1 billion club.
It will be.
Day one.
Right.
It will be.
But that's just American sports as well.
Sure. But like USL, you can get into it for low cost, and when you invest money, quality will only increase over time. Right now it's MLS, USL, but MLS is stuck here.
Yeah.
It's stuck here.
And it has been for a while.
Yeah.
Right, and unless it changes its salary cap rules, makes itself cheaper, which it's not going to do, then it's going to stay here. USL can go here.
Like I
But
mentioned
it
with the
will
market
take
But it's
time.
going to
sizes,
take time. Yeah.
And I think USL, though, I think it's less about attendances, because I actually think USL attendances are pretty good, but it's who's watching USL outside of, the people that support their USL club. I'm an Orange County guy. I watch all the Orange County matches, but, which soccer fan that's already not going to watch MLS that watches world football, top 5 leagues, who's going to go watch USL right now? And that's a hard thing they're dealing with.
That is absolutely the problem. Now, the thing is that excites me about USL, as someone who grew up watching European football and still does, is that USL has room to innovate.
Definitely.
And take advantage. I was talking to a USL owner last week, and he was basically saying, look, I've put in 50 mil to start this team, 100 mil for a stadium. Now, I want some European owner or some European businessman to give me another 20. And we can do a multi-club thing. And if we pull our together, then this is going to be big.
And I
think if USL does that and does it right, then yes, absolutely. Now, are there going to be some casualties along the way?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't want it to happen, but I don't know, throw a name out. Louisville City could just try and grow too fast and go broke.
Yeah.
It could.
I mean, so many USL clubs do, fold after a couple of years of, really trying to grow. One thing I want to add to what you're saying now, and this whole thing in general, is that MLS actually needs the USL to grow a ton.
How so?
Because they need to apply pressure.
Huh.
I think if USL is looking like it could actually surpass MLS is going to make sure that they do the necessary changes.
Do you think MLS just buys USL?
I think MLS would like to. I don't think the USL wants that. That's the whole thing. Because USL doesn't like how MLS does things. MLS, it's not even wants to. They're going to make sure that they own American soccer. You see their involvement with the USSF. They have a voice in every bit of American soccer, and they're going to make sure that no matter what, they're on top. So the USL, if they keep rising and they, this pro-rel thing is such a success that, the gap is getting tighter, even just on a level of playing, then MLS is going to do what they need to do to make sure that they remain on top. So I think USL succeeding is the best thing that could happen to MLS.
So what do you guys think? Hot take?
Ken was right.
I'm going to say Ken is wrong here, just for all we said.
I'm going to say this. If MLS doesn't make any changes, Ken is right. If MLS sees, oh shoot, USL is here and they do something about it, then Ken is wrong.
Because I'm confident they will.
I'm confident they will.
I am not.
Take 3. Despite their artificial fan base, the Saudi League has absolutely surpassed MLS in terms of relevance. They even have a better chance of being a top 6 league in the rest of the world before MLS does.
No. God, no. There are 5 good Saudi clubs and they're all owned by the PIF.
Yeah.
That's it. They
it.
are after that. That is okay, Ken says some dumb stuff because he's an Arsenal fan. That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. That is the Cristiano Ronaldo propaganda. When he was the Saudi League's better than Ligue 1. We so know it's not, bro.
Know it's not.
We so know it's not. And look, Al Hilal beat Man City. Well done, lads. You beat the beta testing, confused preseason Pep Guardiola. Whatever. No, Saudi League is still
I'm going to play a little devil's advocate, even though I agree with you guys. I mean, in terms of level of players and level of, squads, I mean, the top 5 are very high level, squads. I'd give him that, and the amount of money, but we know it's not sustainable. To me, the Saudi League has always been the Chinese Super League 2.0. In a few, I mean, they have deeper pockets in Saudi than they did in China. But I just don't see it being sustainable. Where I think MLS, although we're talking about stagnated growth with MLS, it's still gonna grow and get bigger. I think this is the biggest we'll ever see the Saudi league.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with me in the Saudi league is that, like, bro, other than like Al Hilal, Al Ittihad, and like all the teams that players are going to, these players, when they're going to the Saudi league, they're ending up right back in Europe after like 6 months or a year, bro.
Yeah,
like,
but
John Durant ended right back up in Turkey. Like, I don't understand. If there's
They
going to be
collect
real
their bag.
longevity in the league, players have to be dedicated and be committed to the league.
you know,
right?
earlier today we were talking about the ability to sell. How well you sell, like, is indicative of where you are as a
What
league.
is Saudi selling?
Name
What-
one Saudi star.
Name one Saudi export to another league that's
There you
doing
go.
well.
There you go.
Take 4. MLS fan bases need to stop trying to be an amalgamation of every other fan base in the world and try to do what they do best, which is being an American league. If you had the environment of a college football game at an MLS game, you would turn the MLS from being just another league to a whole new experience. I talked about this though. I want to see cheerleaders in MLS games,
Yes.
bro. Give me
Yes.
all the American culture, all the American swag. I want to see it. I want to see cheerleaders at the game. I want to see a live band before the game. I want MLS games to be lit because look at this. If you're not going to allow these teams to go out there and spend the money they need to compete with the rest of the best in the world, bro, at least make them get creative and let them do things to give a good fan experience and a stadium experience that people will never forget. And I always wonder why these MLS teams don't become creative when it comes to getting people in these stadiums.
I will shut up and let the king of MLS cook. for
No,
a
I
second.
mean, this is like one of the things I'm the biggest advocate for. It's as we alluded to, it's I want MLS to lean into more what makes it an American sports league rather than a World Football League, especially with supporter culture. I think some supporter groups, I'm not going to name any names, I think they try a bit too hard to be like this country, to be like that country, to sound, have similar chants to the people of this country. And, chants are universal, and I'm not going to disagree about that. But we talk about like college football atmospheres. You want to bring in, the American sports audience. You got to bring that type of atmosphere to it. And I think just MLS in general as a league needs to keep leaning into what makes it an American sports league, with the conferences and the playoffs. I mean, that's what entices an American sports fan to fall in love with it. I mean, for me, I come from a background where, I got into football, soccer a little bit later than most, and my first exposure to it was LA Galaxy.
Was it?
Yeah, I didn't watch anything outside of, MLS for like my first 5 years of watching the sport
Yeah.
because
Love it.
for me, it was just, of course, they're the LA team. I'm an LA sports fan. That's who I'm going to support.
Yeah.
And that's where I think MLS needs to focus on is getting those types of people who, they already, for LA, they're already Dodgers, they're already Lakers, although I'm a Clipper fan. They're already Kings.
Yeah,
they're
You love
already
the struggle, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately,
love the grind.
I was born into it, man.
Clippers, Galaxy.
Yeah. But that's what got me into watching soccer. It's like, oh, LA Galaxy, that's, I want to get into soccer. Well, that's my local team. So I'm going to support them, obviously. Like that was my first exposure to it. So that's kind of how I see the game. And that's how, I can't imagine coming into it from another way, which I know is the more common way. But I just think the more MLS leans into drawing people in like that, the more successful they'll be. And football knowledge comes over time. You don't need to bring in people that are just like elite football experts immediately. It's more about getting them involved with it. And, even when I'm in supporter sections in MLS, there's people that just go there to get drunk and have a good time. They don't give a
That's
crap
European
about what
football as well.
They
Yeah.
don't even know a single player's name, but they're wearing the Galaxy kit because, that's their team, that's their city, and they're just there to have a good time.
And I'm telling you, if the league was more American, these moments, people would be like, yo, what the f is going on in American soccer right now? Why are they doing things like that? It would make the league more intriguing. So I'm gonna have to agree with producer Ken here, bro.
I'm with Ken on this one.
Oh, god damn it, I have to agree with you.
Take 5. Inter Miami have a serious chance of going defunct within a decade after Messi and co retires/leaves. Man, that ain't happening, bro.
It's MLS. They'll be fine.
They'll
and
be all good.
You even mentioned it earlier with Pulisic. I didn't even think of like him as like a signing, but they're probably going to try to get like Pulisic. I
Nah,
mean,
it's Project Pulley after Messi leaves. I already know that. I'm knowing that. 'Cause
I don't think they'll be the same team they are now forever, but they're always going to be a big name in MLS just because everyone vacations in Miami. They're going to pull someone, even if it's not like the next Messi. Like, who knows? Lamine Yamal, 2040,
Let me bring it to me. But I think at the end of the day, MLS is such a like an organized league that it stops teams from failing anymore because they realize their mistakes from the early 2000s. That's why there's no more Tampa Bay Mutiny, and there's Dallas Burn, all these clubs is because they were going down financially. MLS is at a phase right now where it's like, we're talking about they're coasting right now. They need to do something different. And I think that the least of their worries is teams going under because more people than ever want to be invested in MLS at the moment.
So, sure, I agree, but I don't think anyone's giving a shit about Miami when Messi leaves.
Oh,
No,
that's,
no,
that's,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No one is caring.
But
no
it's
one
still
is
going to be a
watching.
massive brand in MLS.
Yes.
Regardless. I mean,
Yes,
they'll be selling
yes,
Messi
it
kits for
always-
the rest of time. For us there.
Yes. Well, that's
Throwback
going to be
kits.
the thing, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be the Messi
Yeah.
throwback
Throwback kits.
kits.
Pele
So-
with New York Cosmos to
Right.
this day.
Exactly.
Still
Right.
selling kits.
So you guys think, you agree with Ken's take or no?
I half agree with them. They're not going to be defunct, but they're going to be entirely irrelevant.
I'm going to say no, I don't agree. I think Inter Miami's going to go on, and when Messi leaves, obviously they're going to lose some of their fan visibility and audience, but I think at the end of the day, MLS is growing so much that there's no way Don Garber's not letting them eat, baby.